A joke of. David Paterson made history as the first blind person to be sworn in as a U.S. state governor and the first black governor of New York. Like Stevie Wonder, Governor Paterson developed his disability in childhood. An ear infection migrated to his optic nerve. I say this often, you can become disabled at any point in time. It's just that easy. So finding humor or clowning someone for being disabled makes very little sense when you could become them tomorrow. Paterson advocated for disability rights, including working to expand accommodations for disabled students taking the bar exam. He backed controversial issues like supporting stem cell research and extending the right to vote to non-citizens, which was legal in 22 states and territories from 1776 to 1920. He was famously mocked on SNL by a non-black comedian who dressed up like him. The comedian's name was Fred Armisen. Seldom do you see white politicians with disabilities have their disabilities mocked by comedians. I have not seen any skits on former Congressman Madison Cawthorn or Texas Governor Greg Abbott featuring able-bodied white comedians in wheelchairs. And they, as politicians, have a history of supporting anti-black and ableist public policies. What many found particularly offensive was the jokes went beyond Governor Paterson's visual disability. Instead, it teetered on him being an ineffective governor and political leader, in part due to his blindness, which was completely irrelevant. He was portrayed as a bumbling buffoon who couldn't even navigate and walk without bumping into people or cameras. This is why disability justice as a framework emphasizes how race shapes the experiences of disabled black people and people of color. He and Stevie Wonder have confronted a combination of anti-blackness and ableism throughout their careers. When it comes to humor and disability, disabled people telling jokes about their own disability doesn't give privileged, non-disabled, and able-bodied people the right to do the same. I liken it to, I can joke about my mama, but you can't joke about my mama. I've been in that position as a wheelchair user where I've had to grin and bear it when jokes were made about my disability at my expense. It's either smile through it or be labeled angry and bitter based on your disability or blackness or, being a black disabled woman. So pump your brakes and leave the jokes about disability to the experts on disability. Us, disabled people. The moral of the story is Stevie Wonder and Governor Paterson's legacy is never to be forgotten and shows that disability rights are civil rights, which should always include racial justice, peace, love, and be an ally to disabled people, not an ableist. Bonus fact, many people mistakenly believe blindness was Stevie Wonder's only disability. I'm partial to Stevie Wonder since we are both survivors of kidney transplants, which is a disability. My favorite Stevie Wonder album is Songs in the Key of Life. And the Library of Congress has historically preserved the record as it's culturally, historically, and aesthetically important and informs and reflects life in the United States.